Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very special online event today. It's called Discover Life Colors, an energy map to your soul's journey. Explore the vibrant spectrum of your true essence to deepen your intuition and illuminate your life path. My name is Stephen Dinan. I'm the founder and president of the Shift Network, and I love getting to explore new dimensions of our higher abilities. And we're going to get to explore this with a really remarkable pioneer today. Her name's Titanya Monique Dahlin. She's a life color intuitive and the creator of energy medicine dance, as well as energy medicine for kids, which sounds like a lot of fun, something we should know about for our girls. So Titania is going to be exploring really how we can use colors in our field and psychic perception to really inform how we do life in a deeper and more aligned way. So Titania, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. It's so wonderful to be here on the Shift Network.
Great, and we're super excited. I want to share right up front that Titania is going to be teaching a brand new course for Shift. It's called Life Colors, an energy map to your soul's journey, and we'll share more about that towards the end of the hour. So, Titania, I always like to start these sessions with a bit about your journey and what really propelled you to devote so much work and time to really teaching about life colors.
Oh my goodness. Well, I didn't know that I was going to be in this work at all. I didn't even know I was going to be in my mother's work. And if some of you don't know, my mother is holistic health pioneer Donna Eden. But what I did do is grow up with her. So I grew up in the language of energy. And so she was always helping me and my sister in school with life and trying to navigate our way through energy, the language of energy and who we were. And so early on, like all children do, the senses with children are very, very open. They see, they hear, they feel. They may see things that we adults don't see because we have so many responsibilities in life. Sometimes we cut that off. But children are very open. And so my mother was always continuing to open up the conversation about what do I see? What do I smell? What do I hear? Being more very much observant of what was going on around me. And I remember when I was young and I saw colors around street people, and I would tell my mother, I'm seeing this color around this person at the 7-Eleven, and she would identify, yes, that's exactly what I'm seeing too. So we'd have these conversations. But then as I began to grow up, and I didn't want to feel weird in school because it was the early 70s, and I was with a mother who was kind of little hippy dippy. and, and so I didn't want to feel weird. And so I think I shut off all my faculties. I didn't want to let anybody know that I was seeing energy and seeing colors. And so I did this. I didn't know I was actually doing it, but I know I did it because I just wanted to be in with the crowd. And then much, much later on down the road, uh, well, in my teenager years, I didn't want to have anything to do with energy medicine and my mother's work because I was a teenager. I wanted to do my own things. But later on, in my late 20s, when I had established myself as an international Middle Eastern dancer traveling all over the world, I began to pop into my mother's workshops. And there was a fascination with this. And knowing that I had known about energy, I realized I could add some things to her workshops. And that came in with the energy medicine dance, realizing that my mother was giving these amazing lectures and teaching people about energy and their own individual energy. And yet I felt like they needed to move more. So I brought in energy medicine dance and inspired by all of her techniques. And so I came into the workshops, and at most of the workshops, my mother would talk about colors, life colors. And everybody was so fascinated. And some of our earliest teachers always were like writing in their notebooks, oh my goodness, life colors. They're so fascinating. But I never thought I would be like moving into this field. But after workshops, when my mother would write in people's books, because she was always having a signing line, writing a little note to everybody, she would always look at them and see the life color. They would get their life colors in the books. And she would always kind of push them towards me. Oh, Titania will tell you about those colors. And I just knew from what my mother had told me in the classes, okay, tell them about their colors. But then in 2006, there was this one special workshop where she kind of went outside of the box and she began to write down colors that I had never heard about before because one of her teachers that she learned from was a woman named Nancy Tappy. And Nancy Tappy was this incredible woman. She was legally blind, and so she tasted life colors. She was a synesthete, and so this knowledge comes through her to my mother because my mother wanted to know what she was seeing around people, these energies, these colors. And it was through Nancy Tappy. Nancy Tappy was also the first person to coin the phrase indigo kids, because she saw the colors around the children that were being born in around the late 80s. And so we had this plethora, about 10 to 12 colors. But in 2006, my mother started writing silver or bronze or purple or dusty rose in people's books, and she continued to push them my way. And there was this one woman who was so frantic that she was not going to get her answer about what dusty rose meant. And she was the first person that just kind of opened up my expansion of my awareness of intuition. And I was so nervous. I said, I'll tell you what that means, kind of like with deer in the headlights and not knowing what that meant at all. This woman, we made a session an hour away, and I went to her, and my partner at the time said, you know what? I know who you are and I know what you do. You just go, let go, and do what you do. And so I did. And I gave her a session. And in that session, she began to tell me, oh my goodness, you've read my whole life story. You know exactly who I am. It's just amazing. And so from that point, 2006, till now, my mouth has been dropped open this whole time because it just has continued and continued. And so from those 12 colors that Nancy Tappy brought, I am now at about 165 colors that my mother and I have identified. So it's come a long way. And there's a few other things in there of why I feel that I have opened up in such a way. And I think one of those is that I shut down my sight. And what happened is my hearing opened up, my smelling, and my feeling had always been there. And so that's how I interpret life colors.
Hmm.
That's a long story, but
It's an amazing story. I love that, the tasting life colors too is really interesting.
yeah.
So going back to this session where you kind of read somebody's whole life and intention. So how are how are the colors correlated with our sort of soul's intention for this lifetime and really like the deeper
Mm.
essence of who we are?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, life colors in general, I believe that we have chosen our life colors even before we are born, just like we have chosen our families and our environment in order to learn our lessons and challenges in this lifetime. I feel as if maybe we have a council of energies on the other side that are helping us to create, okay, what life colors are we going to move into in this lifetime? So the life colors, you are born with your life color and you die with your life color. They are the colors that never change in your auric field. So the aura is this electromagnetic field around us. Some people call it the biofield. And in this field, we have many different energies and we have many different layers. We have actually 7 layers in the auric field. And on the 6th layer is the life color. And every single one of those layers relate to something else in our personality, in our perception of life, our connection with our higher God or goddess or nature itself, every single one of those layers. Oh, there's one about the health of yourself as well. And each of these layers can have colors, but they can also move out those colors, as I have found. But the life color stays the same because we are supposed to evolve in this lifetime. These are the lessons and challenges in order for us to live through, in order to evolve, so that maybe in the next lifetime, if you believe in lifetimes, you will receive and choose a different color because you have moved through this color, this vibration, so to say, in our aura. And so it's like an imprint. It's like a energetic fingerprint of who we are. And it tells us how we are attracted to some things, how we are attracted to people, how we choose the careers that we are in, how we lead our life, whether it's from a spiritual standpoint or a standpoint with just reality in general, how we do it individually. So these 165 colors I know are going to continue because we're so individual and so unique. And so that's a really wonderful thing. I'm so excited when I receive different colors coming to me. So yeah.
Really cool. So maybe you can share a little bit about sort of where you pick them up or where do you notice them in the aura? I know we have multiple levels of our biofield and
Yeah.
chronicled by different energy healers. So where do the life colors source and how do you start to perceive them?
Oh my goodness, that's such a big question because I think I myself might be different than someone else perceiving colors because I hear them and it's not with these physical ears. Sometimes they talk to me, but sometimes it's the vibration. And sometimes I can hear if the vibration is really high, and that might be a color that is possibly very, very light and or sometimes very low, and that can be a very deep color. Those deep colors are sometimes help me understand that this person may be much more grounded than someone who has a high vibration and maybe not very grounded to the earth. And so, for instance, the color of lavender, which I have on my etheric, and I've had to really calm it down when I'm in the public eye because the lavender is from the etheric. Oh, it's on my etheric field. It's not my life color, but it's on my etheric field. And your etheric field is the first field that you meet people in. So they pick this up. It's kind of like the masks we wear in public and the etheric field. It also picks up the health of yourself. The lavender is of the elemental world. It is fairies and elves and connecting with nature. And so many times when I'm up on stage, people say, "Oh my goodness, you're just like a fairy." So that is a very high vibration. Whereas purple, which I am not, but I love to be around purples because they have this deep grounding uh, centering energy for me. I love being around them because they can help me focus and come down. So that purple essence can be very grounding for people, but within themselves, they have this amazing place where people love to be comforted by purples. People's purples have an amazing way of hearing. So I also feel, and that comes up all the time. I'm very empathic and I'm very sensitive. So feeling comes in. And then every now and then, especially when I'm with somebody in person, the smell comes in. And that's a very interesting thing to pick up too. So I think everybody is different. And in my course, also, I am going to be sharing those differences in the way we perceive intuitionally as well, because I think the way I do it may be different than someone else does it.
Do you find that as people get more and more authentic and develop and grow psychologically and spiritually, that they kind of come into more alignment with their deeper colors? Or is there kind of, do we kind of shield things a bit as we're younger or sort of more in our defenses? Maybe share a little bit about how it evolves in terms of being able to kind of perceive and align with those colors.
I love that. I love that question because you are so right. As we mature, I think we get to know ourselves a little bit more, even if we don't know what our colors are. But when we find the colors, I have often, so many times, people have just a sense of fulfillment, a satisfaction of knowing who they are. But when we are young, yes, we do have defenses up. We do have the shields up. And when you work on yourself enough, some of those shields can come down. And it's really hard when I am giving a life color reading because I notice shields in the energy field. And so when I'm trying to break through those shields, sometimes I need to do a little bit of investigating in order to just help them melt away. And then there is something I say or something I pick up in them, and then all of a sudden I feel they melt. And all of a sudden I'm in, and then all of a sudden I'm telling them more. And so sometimes it can be very difficult when I am reading. I always tend to melt them and get in there. But sometimes it can be a little hard because of the shields we have, whether it's from childhood trauma, and we have those shields to protect us. In the course itself, I am also going to be giving energy exercises to help some of those shields melt, but keep that strength so you can go out into the world and not be affected.
Very cool. So I'd love for you to share just a few other examples, since I know the 165 colors you said that there's a
Yeah.
lot of different colors. And so maybe just talk about some of the kind of bigger ones that might be fairly common and that you would see and what qualities of life and intention, soul path are associated with each.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, I would love to go into some of the major colors that are on the planet now. Some of these colors that people hold. Blue is a big one. Blue are the nurturers, the caregivers, the healers, the mothers. They usually go into healing if it's not becoming a mother with many children. They are the ones that have the fantasy of having a family around them. And so they do have children. It's very hard when a blue can't have children or doesn't have children. And that has always been a little bit of a dream of theirs. But they're the ones who go into possibly nursing or caregiving of some kind, or possibly with children. They might be kindergarten teachers or preschool teachers, the younger ages. That is the mothering kind of nurturing. And then they eventually go into healing because that blue has that gut instinct, kind of a knowing in blues that they want to heal the world. They have a perception in the world that they want to see the world being a better place, more love, more harmony. And this blue was also in the place of around the 1950s, 1960s. So, like we have an electromagnetic field inside us, the planet too has the electromagnetic field and it has life colors as well. And so the blue time was in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. There was so much happening in this time. There was the hippies, the peace children, make love, not war. There was also in the 50s the stay-at-home mom who would cook and clean and take care of the family and take care of her husband. That was that time. So we have a lot of blues in the world today going off and becoming healers. That is such a good place for them to be if they aren't mothers or fathers. And then we have the violets. And the violets were the next age that came in were the violets. And it was around the 70s that it was changing. And in the 80s, we were on in the planet in the 80s of violet energy in the electromagnetic field. And it is the place of the spiritual seeker, the one that dives in and figures out what is going on in their world. They are the spiritual seeker, so they keep learning and keep adding to what they know in order to seek their own questions and their own answers of what they should be doing in the world. So they are the ones who see a bigger perspective in life. They see a vision for the world, and they also feel as if they have a higher place in the world. In the violet time, in the 80s, self-help workshops started popping up all over the place, and people started diving in. In the late 70s, which was the transition, people were going off to India to find a guru, or finding a teacher, finding a mentor for themselves. So violets usually find teachers or mentors, and then later on become teachers and mentors themselves. And so we have this amazing flood also of technology. Technology is part of the violet age, coming through the 80s into the 90s and thousands. And the last part, who is very much apparent on the planet, is the indigos. And the indigo, really, there was a transition. So the transitions usually happen on the planet for about 12 to 15 years. I am kind of following this 12 to 15 years where one color is on the planet and another color starts to come in, or a vibration starts to come in, and then the other one falls away, as many people who are on board with that colors lesson. So as we go through life colors on the planet, we are also going through it with our own personal lessons and challenges. So the globe has this amazing energy that it has right now, which is we are in the place of indigo. And indigo, it came about around 2016. It started moving in. And when I began to see the shift, I actually saw the shift happening around 2009 and 2012. And then in 2016, I was over in Europe, and the idea of Brexit came in. And Brexit shifted everything. There was a polarization that happened with Brexit over there. And then a few months later, Donald Trump was elected to this country the first time, and the polarization happened then. Indigo is about kind of shaking things up in order to find truth, in order to find this kind of a harmony. Things need to be shaken up like a snow globe in order to come in. The indigos are in their late 20s, 30s, and 40s now. They were being born as a group soul around, I would say, around the harmonic convergence, around 1987, but the late 80s, early 90s, they came in as a group soul, and now they are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. So they are bringing in these amazing ideas, solutions that we have not had before. And at the same time, there's an energy on the planet of being challenged in our own personal lives and challenged in the globe itself. So indigos are the other color that is very apparent in people. There are so many more, but those three are very up. Oh, green. Green is here too. Green is here, and green is of the old world, and yet green is very powerful. Green, our country, America, our country is a green country. So life colors can come into countries. They can come into group souls. They can come into organization. It's the vibration that is coming off of the country or the organization or the planet. And so green is a very old-fashioned color. It is all about reality, and it is also a color that came before the blue time. So it was the color before the blue time. We have a lot of greens on the planet now. Donald Trump is part green. Elon Musk is green and indigo. So you can imagine what this is all about. It is about bringing in things that possibly worked at a different time, and yet they are being challenged by the indigo. The indigo is about breaking open the box and seeing new ideas, and yet the green and the indigo are really at a crux right now,
Hmm.
especially in America, but it's happening all over. Is this, but greens are also there too. I sometimes, it's hard for me because I live in such a energetic spiritual world. I don't deal with a lot of greens in my life. And so, but there, a lot of them are in the political arena, are
Uh-huh.
greens and tans too.
Well, truly fascinating collective reflections, very new material to me and interesting about the colors. So one thing that just kind of question comes up is how then do we best understand our own color in relationship to some of the collective patterns that you're seeing? So it's sort of like there's an upwelling of indigo, and I would imagine probably a good percentage of those in the shift network are more in the indigo sphere. Uh,
Yes.
or qualities, but then it's like, how do you sort of like look at like what's the way to optimize between yourself and the collective?
Well, I will take myself for example. So I have two colors. I have red and blue. So blue is the nurturer, the mother. I work with energy medicine for kids. I've always been connected to children, and children have been connected to me. But through my 40s and 50s, I had a lot of fertility issues. And so red comes in. Red is vibrant. Red is the divine feminine. Red is the one where I was the international Middle Eastern dancer traveling the world. And here I was with my blue, wanting to settle down and have kids. And then here's red. Red is Marilyn Monroe was red. Marilyn Monroe was this had charisma. Red brings on the charisma, very feminine in their quality, and they love life. They love expressing through their body. And yet, I believe Marilyn Monroe had some blue too, because she did have some miscarriages. She wanted to be a mother. And so I had these 17 years of fertility challenges, and I wouldn't give up because I was young and I was going to do it through my body, because Middle Eastern dancing for me was a birth ritual. And so I kept on teaching other women, and they would get pregnant, and I was so excited. And then it was my turn and I couldn't. And I know that that red energy is such a high vibration that it was very difficult for me. And so reproduction challenges and pelvic issues came in. And also that red comes into the place of really, one of the lessons is loving yourself. So it's a very outward expression. And sometimes people think, oh, reds love themselves. And yet there's a disconnect between loving themselves. So I had to get on board with that one. And we were living in the violet age at that time. And one of the lessons with violet age is sometimes violets have a real perfection. They are always perfecting their craft, always whatever project they are doing or whatever spiritual path they are on, it's all about perfecting it. And one of the lessons for violets is to let go and just see the bigger picture and not have your plans so tied up. And so when I was going through my near-death experiences with fertility, and it was amazing because I was also opening up my site again, and I pushed it back down, but because I didn't want to see all the bad things in the world. But that was opening up. But in this time, I realized when I went to my second near-death experience and just being bopped over the head, and it was awful. It was awful where I was going, because it was through fertility. It was through IVF that I personally had these really awful challenges where I had blood clots through my whole body, and having to get rid of that. But in that second time, I realized I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm going to death's door again. It has to be me, and me coming to life again and choosing life, and also knowing that we're in the violet age, and violet is about letting go of your plans. And that's what I was doing, constantly taking my plan and wanting children out of my own body. And so I let go, and eventually it unfolded. And now I have my son. On the first day he was born, he's adopted, and it's such a blessing. But I don't know, if I was stuck in that place, I probably would have passed over, and I had to make a different choice. But connecting to the color and the vibration on the planet helped me go into another step in life and choose life and say, no matter what, no matter if I'm not going to have a child out of my body, okay, what else can I do? It has to be okay if I don't have children at all. I didn't know how children were going to come in, and I never thought adoption was part of my journey. And then all of a sudden I let go, and it just began to unfold. And so that's one of the reasons, one of the ways that you can look at your own life colors and see the color on the planet and see what is happening and what is the lesson on the planet to connect with your own life color.
Really fascinating. And I know, thank you for sharing so much about your own life journey too.
Mm.
And I know you were going to do a little bit of reading of me spontaneously without,
Aw.
background. And so it's sort of like you letting know what you pick up on, because I think it'd be fascinating just for me to be your guinea pig here for other folks.
Yeah, well, thank you, Stephen. And I do want you to know that I've never done this for the public before. It's always been one-on-one or in small groups at my mother's workshop. So this is a real treat for you to help me step into a different place. So I do have some notes here that I want to tell you about your own life colors. And I see two strong colors in you, and that is green tan and blue tan. And you also have a beautiful wash of energy in your auric field of violet. And violet is in all of your layers, and it comes and goes depending on what you are working on. But that violet is the spiritual seeker. And I have a feeling that you were probably this when you were younger more than now, but you still seek. You still have that kind of wanting to question things. Your blue tan, we call it a steely blue, and I believe that it's the blue that kind of, I love what you're wearing today, because on the camera it actually does look like the blue that I feel as you are. And so you're picking that up too. It's kind of like a Civil War blue, and that Civil War blue looks at a bigger picture of things, and they also can see the detail down below. The green tan is what we call environmental green. And environmental green is more connected to causes in the world, the environment, people. So it is about healing and serving the world. You're actually in a perfect position because green is a leader. Sometimes with a blue tan, they want someone else to lead, but you are in such a higher kind of awareness and intelligence that sometimes people ask you about what you are thinking about. They come to you in that way. And so you have a kind of a fatherly figure here with that steely blue tan. You are the bridge between the emotional, the heart, and the mental, the logic coming in. You are a teacher. You are a leader. You can remain real calm under conflict, and you can also be very rational. Having the green come in, it's very much about reality, and that blue tan is more about the emotional realm, and yet staying steady and grounded and centered. My mother sometimes says that the steely blue is a little bit of an enigma because they're mysterious. And so you would have more depth than most people might know in you. And so there is this, on the outside, there is a kind of a holding it all together. But when people drop in with you, they find a real nurturing about you. And on the outside, it might not be there, but there's this side that comes out, and that's your blue. Green holds it all together. You are very loyal to your family and your friends. And you can also weigh both sides. It's that Civil War blue that you can weigh both sides of an issue and maybe even take the opposite issue of where you're at just to see how people are thinking. Maybe what if, and maybe jump to the other side and just expand what you are wanting to know about. And so in this way, it makes for a really good debate. You have really good judgment about people and detail about things. Having that green come in, there's a real strong intelligence about you as well, having that there. So, anyways, that's a little bit about a
That's
mini life
amazing.
color
That was an
reading.
amazing, amazing reading. Yeah, and very accurate as well. And so, do you find that sort of like, it sounds like there's two primary colors, the sort of the blue tan and green tan, and then some of the violet overlay. Do those shift in terms of emphasis over the course of a life, or that just kind of that pattern is more set for your whole life?
You know, what I feel is it's very rare in all of these years since 2006 when I really came on and started really connecting to people in their life colors that the color can change. And Nancy Tappy always said the color remains the same. But over time, I've realized because I think we're all evolving that we are shifting in our color as well. And if we have done so much work on ourselves that the colors can change but they'll never jump from a color. I believe that they either go a little bit lighter or a little bit deeper depending on what that person was really working on. I also feel in the layers of the aura that colors can come in when you need them the most, or if you are working on something that maybe a color can come in and this is some sort of lesson for the moment, for the year, whatever it is, and colors can come in. I remember having a session with somebody that she was all blue, all feeling and beautiful and nurturing and caregiving. And she was one of my mother's friends, and she was going to have this beautiful jewelry vending practice. And it was wonderful. She came to all of our workshops and she did really well. But the thing about it was that she could never put a price on her art or her jewelry, and that's what happens with blues. They think it is if it's healing, it's like a gift from spirit, and it's hard to put a price tag on their business. And it's hard for them to do business because it is all about giving and loving. And so green came in, and it came in on the field of the morphogenic field, which my mother has quoted the morphogenic field, and it's a habit field. And so when a color comes in there, it's like you are learning something that you possibly never have learned before. And when green came in for her, it was all about money. It was all about structure. It was all about really getting her eyes open about this business that she had. And she began to do really, really well when green came in. And then when she had it, it left. And so that's, it's so amazing. Life colors are so fascinating because it is energy, it is vibration, and I will never stop learning this because it is such a big field.
Fantastic. Well, your passion is so infectious. So I know you were also going to lead us in a meditation so we can each sync up
Ooh.
our own color with the larger indigo field that's sort of underway right now, which I assume helps to amplify some of those positive indigo changes that are coming.
All right. Okay. Well, one of the things that I was thinking of in bringing to everybody is, we have the electromagnetic field in us, and we have the electromagnetic field in the planet. And the planet affects us, and we affect each other with our electromagnetic fields, and we also affect the planet. So if There's so much happening in the world today, and it's very good to stay above it, to raise your vibration a little bit, because when we're down in the muck of the deeper emotions of anger and frustration and sadness and grief, and it goes on, then that energy isn't uh swimming out to the world. And when we raise our vibrations, even knowing what is going on, we don't really know what's going on, then we can shift and bring that energy to each other, because it is about reconnecting to each other and bringing more love to the planet and raising our vibrations so we're not in the muck of things. So this exercise is just about that. So what I would love for you to do, and I invite you to close your eyes. And I'm going to close my eyes. And I want you to connect in with your breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting go of anything that has come before this moment. Feeling your feet on the ground and feeling your presence inside your body, sitting or lying down on your chair or your bed, feeling your body and continuing to breathe. Feeling that essence of who you are. And now I want you to go out into your field. Your field is around you, feeling the energy around you, your biofield, your aura, and seeing how far your aura goes out from you. This is your personal space. In all different directions, see how far it goes out. And you may not know it completely, just feel, or just know. And then I want you to take that mental snapshot of how far it is going out, and I want you to see that shape and see it down below by your feet. See that shape, your aura around your feet, your mental eye. This is going to serve as an energetic tree trunk. We are the tree. And you can even feel your energetic tree connecting in with the earth as your floorboards open up and you send your roots down into the earth. And as you send your roots down into the earth, Mother Earth comes up to meet you with a warm, embracing hug. You are supported by her energies. And you may even feel underneath the earth the energy and of the animals, the plant life, the tribe of energy underneath the earth that is so curious and awe-inspiring. And I want you to take that earth from Mother Earth, because she has so much of it, and breathe her essence in, this divine feminine energy in from the earth, and it comes into your feet, at the bottom of your feet, as this amazing energy of kidney essence. Kidney essence is the wellspring of life. It comes into your feet and into your bloodstream, into your muscles, and it comes up your legs, your knees. Breathing her in, it comes up your thighs, your hips, in your belly, in your spine. Breathing that Mother Earth essence in, up your abdomen, over your breasts and your chest, up the top of your spine, into your scapula, into your shoulders, and down your arms. It may even come in with a vibration or a color. Breathe the Mother Earth in, into your throat, into your face and your skull, into the inner workings of your head, all the way up. And you can imagine that you are opening up the top of your head and allowing that energy to stream out the top of your head. And imagine that your arms, or you can even bring up your arms like tree branches connecting into the galaxy above you, into the atmosphere in all different directions, into this amazing universe that is ours, above the Earth's atmosphere, this galaxy, this universe that is helping us, helping planet Earth in this place where they know that we are part of the solar system, and they are giving this amazing energy to us to help us as humans survive. So bringing in this awareness, we are also surrounded by our ancestors, our higher guides, galactic beings who are all on our side in Earth. And knowing what we are going through in our own personal lives and in the global atmosphere, they are always there, this immediate support for us. And when we are in this place where our arms are reached up into the atmosphere like tree branches, there's this amazing place that we are connected to all of the galaxy, the cosmos, the universe, knowing that there is a greater plan. And there may be the actors on the stage where we don't quite know what the play is about. We don't know where the play is going to end up in. But behind the scenes, there is this amazing script for our own good. And so do not know, but yet we can step here into the place of faith. And as we step into the place of faith and trust in this indigo age that we are in, the place of calm patience comes in. The place of our own essence, of knowing we can make a difference in raising our own vibrations in order to meet each other. And when we step in, we connect to this beautiful planet of the sun. And now the sun's light, the warmth of the sun comes in like a beautiful, gentle, masculine energy. This gentle warrior light of the sun warming us comes into our branches, comes into our hands, comes into the top of our head like warm, beautiful honey coming on in. Honey brings in trust and faith. And as your branches come down to your heart chakra, this place called heaven rushing in the middle of your heart, the sun comes down and melts all your worries and melts the place of tension so we can affect each other in the place of harmony and love, for that's what we all want, what we all truly desire, a better place on earth, no matter what side we are in. And so coming into this place, you can even place your hands on your heart chakra, knowing that this energy has come in, knowing it is true, and knowing that you are this amazing being living your life in this place on earth, in this amazing renaissance of times that we are living in, and you make a difference. And in this way, let's come back to our breath, breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth, coming back into our bodies, maybe giving a little bit of a stretch, finding yourself back on your chair or your couch or out in nature, wherever you are. coming back to your beautiful being that you are, that you have chosen in this lifetime. And when you are ready, you can open up your eyes and come back to us.
Mm. Well, thank you, Titania. That was beautiful, and I really love what can open up with this understanding of our own life colors and how it interacts with these larger flows of energy in the world. Kind of strikes me that it's like understanding life colors is a lot about understanding our soul intentions for being here, and then the collective intentions unfolding. And when we really understand that more deeply, life can get a lot better and more harmonious and more beautiful.
So true. You put it in great words. Yes,
Yeah.
Stephen.
Yes, well, I want to spend some time now talking about your upcoming course that we've referenced a few times because it's going to be an amazing opportunity to really distill this whole lifetime of apprenticeship and study and teaching with the life colors. And so understanding how this works in our systems, understanding your own life colors, it's a deep science that Titania and her mother have evolved in combination with the work of many other people.
Mm.
So so the course is called Life Colors, an energy map to your soul's journey. Discover life-changing insights about your spiritual role in the indigo age. You can find it at the URL lifecolorscourse.com, lifecolorscourse.com. You don't have to have any background in this area. It's really just if you're curious or you want to open some new understandings, new capacities in yourself, and really understand this lens on how our energy field signals and reveals our deeper intentions and purpose in this life and how that engages with others. So,
Mm.
Titania, I'd love for you to share a bit in your own words about some of your intentions for this program, what people will come away with, and then we can go through the modules.
Sure. One of the things about life colors that I really love is it brings compassion to each other, knowing about someone else's life journey and their lessons and their struggles. And every single one of the life colors have real superpowers, and they also have some things that we all need to work on. So it brings a beautiful compassion with each other. And so I love that life colors are getting to know life colors is expanding in a different modality to help the world evolve and grow and meet each other.
Beautiful. So again, it's all at lifecolorscourse.com. And let's go through some of the modules and give a preview of what you're doing.
Sure.
So module 1, dive into the foundations of life colors as you embark on a journey of profound growth, self-understanding, and healing.
All right, so in this module, I am going to be talking all about the life color, maybe a little bit of history about how life colors came about. And I am also going to be sharing the different layers that I have been speaking about. There are 7 different layers, and each one of them are really connected to your own personality. So we have the etheric that is connected to the health. We have a protective layer that it is like a buffer to allow you to not receive stress as much. And then there's a thought, emotional, mental field comes next, and then your morphogenic field, and then your celestial field, which is connected to the greater harmony of all and your own god or goddess or whomever you believe source is. There is the life color, and then surrounding all this is the Celtic weave, which my mother calls the Celtic weave because she sees so many figure eights inside this weaving of energy that holds us all together. And in this, I am also going to be sharing energetic exercises for the aura itself to help a, a protective layer around us to help keep steady and grounded for everything that we're going through in this time. Mhm.
Module 2, explore the global impact of life colors to move toward personal and collective conscious awakening.
All right, so I gave a little bit of a sample here, but we are going to dive into the ages of the life colors, starting from the tan age into the green, the blue, the violet, the indigo, and beyond. So we're going to connect into the electromagnetic field of each of these colors. And with every single, I'm also going to be diving in a little bit more about the indigo that we are in right now. But each of these modules are holding energy exercises to help you connect to your own life color and help you ground within where we are at in our world today. Mm.
Module 3, understand lessons and challenges that correspond to specific life colors and cultivate greater empathy and authenticity.
Yes. So now we're going to take those same 5 colors and we're going to present it to ourselves, our personality. So we're going to go into the life color of tan and what it means to be a tan, a green, a blue, a violet, and an indigo. So we're going to take each of these colors and I'm going to explain what these life colors are, their challenges, their lessons, their superpowers, and as well, each of these colors hold energy exercises to help them in their own challenging ways.
Module 4, discover additional life colors to understand new dimensions of yourself and create positive shifts in your well-being.
Yes, so we're going to take on the next 5 prominent colors that are like the major colors. It's kind of like the box of crayons. We're going through the box of crayons. And so this will be the logical yellow, the grounding purple, the passionate red, the adventurous orange, and the reflective crystal. And so we're going to really identify if none of these resonate with you, then you can resonate with possibly these being one of your loved ones. So we're going to expand on the possibilities of really connecting and identifying life colors with others. And each of these also has energy medicine exercises.
Module 5, uncover pathways to greater harmony and purpose as you explore the intricacies of the shades of life colors.
Yes. So now we have the box of crayons, and now we, like children, we're going to get the bigger box of crayons. We're going to go into the shades. So we're going to go into 12 more shades. So we're going to go into the blues, turquoise, teal, and aqua. We're going to go into the greens of seafoam green to forest green. We're going to go into the reds of rose, scarlet, pink, fuchsia, and maroon, and then the violets of lavender to magenta. And so this particular module, I'm also going to be bringing something that is also part of the life colors, which is the assemblage point. And the assemblage point is an amazing energy. It's kind of like your North Star. When you feel on with your assemblage point, you know where you're going. You know what life is all about. Everything seems right with the world. But when you get disconnected from your assemblage point sits like around your heart chakra, then everything is off and you get disconnected from everything in your life that you once felt like you were connected with. This is such an important place. And so we are going to talk a little bit about the assemblage point, and I am also going to give an exercise for helping you really bring the assemblage point on for your life, because a lot of people have been disconnected from their assemblage point with what is happening in the world from COVID till now. So that's a really exciting module.
Module 6, awaken your intuitive spectrum by exploring the 4 intuitive sensory types.
Yeah, so now we're going to deep dive into intuition. And these sensory types were very much like the clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, but we go into the energy medicine realm of the auditory tonal, the visual, the digital, which is the knowing, and the kinesthetic, which is the feeling. So we're going to uncover and find out where we sit, because we're all so individual. And while all of them sit within us, one or two can show their faces in your own intuition. So really connecting with our intuition as a partner in this particular module. And I have energy medicine exercises for opening those as well.
And finally, Module 7, celebrate hope for humanity's future as the next generation brings forth an era of spiritual awakening.
Yes, this is one of my favorites because we're going into the next generation of life colors, these children that are being born on the planet that are following the indigo age, the following the indigo adults now. And these are the colors of rainbow, luminescent, and opalescent colors. And I love this particular module. I love talking about the children being born now, and they're all the way up to about I would say about the early 20s, but most of them are still being born, and they're bringing unconditional love to the planet. So I'm thinking maybe the next age after indigo is the harmony, is the Aquarian age of that beautiful place where we are all in harmony with one another. In this module, I am also going to share my insight on guiding and navigating these children into our future because they are the next generation.
Well, what an exciting and uplifting program. And I think it couldn't be timed better for the moment when we do need some serious upliftment and to stabilize ourselves in the emergent awareness rather than just what's happening.
Yes.
It pull in other directions. So again, it's all at lifecolorsmap.com. So a little bit more about it. In addition to the 7 90-minute live modules that Titanya just described, you're also going to have time to ask your questions. You'll have recordings of every session with video and audio, as well as word-for-word transcripts. There's weekly exercises and practices for home. There's a Facebook community to support you and deepen your experience. And on the page, you'll see a number of extra bonuses that are all designed to enhance your journey. There's a video teaching with Titanya called Energy Medicine Dance to cultivate a joyful connection. You mentioned that a bit earlier. You want to share anything more about that video teaching?
That one is all about radiant circuits, and radiant circuits are energy pathways in your whole body that go where you need it best in the moment. So I am bringing Energy Medicine Dance, which was inspired by all of my mother's exercises, into this particular little video for you, and it's all about radiant circuits, and radiant circuits bring in joy, bring in radiance where you may feel really lost. It just helps enliven those energies to come on board and connect up so that they are habits in your world. So you're not defaulting to depression or sadness or grief or anger. We're going to lift up our vibrations a little bit to help the planet.
That sounds awesome. There's a special second bonus, which I can't even hardly believe, is that you're actually offering personal life color readings and giving people $50 off a session. You're gonna be, sounds like you're gonna be very busy, Titanya, with that, but that's an amazing resource so you can really get Titanya's direct insight into your life colors and how to do that. And then there's a final bonus that comes from Donna and David Feinstein, who's her partner, and this is called the 9 energy systems. This is a full video teaching. This is our bonus when you sign up right away by midnight tonight Pacific time. And so you want to share anything about the 9 energy systems by your mother and David?
Yes, this is so my mother, way back when in the 70s, she's the one who really saw what these energies, she saw that there were 9 energy systems predominantly in our body, and they are the auras, the meridians, the grid energy, the radiant circuits is one of them. These 9 energy systems really are the ones who really connect up and help us on our path in life. But if we are going through a health challenge of any kind, these energy systems are the ones that we can connect to in order to help bring our system into a more vital, alive place so that we aren't running to a medication in the cupboard or to our doctor, but we are taking our lives into our own hands. And it's so important now because we know who we are, and it is about empowering ourselves and in our own lives and our health journeys. So that particular video is going to expand you in ways of past the human body into the energy systems itself. And my mother and David have a beautiful way of explaining about it.
Well, what an incredible extra bonus that is. And again, it's at lifecolorscourse.com, and you get that if you sign up by midnight tonight. So we've kept the investment for this program very accessible. It's just 3 payments of $128, or you save 10% when you pay in full with one payment of $349. The course is going to start on March 10th and run Mondays at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. But even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings, the transcripts, in the community as well. There's some great testimonials about Titanya and her work and the power of this. And plus, you're going to get a discount on doing an individual session, which is amazing. And so you're in really good hands, and you'll get some valuable insight into yourself and your life path, and some skills for how to sort of orient around colors in your field and what that means and how to relate to others. Wow. So again, it's all at lifecolorscourse.com, and you get that special 9 energy systems when you sign up by midnight tonight.
Yes.
So Titania, it's been a joy being with you. Thank
Mm.
you for bringing your passion and depth of knowledge to us. Anything that's still on your heart you want to share with folks who are considering joining you for the full Life Colors course?
One of the things I'd just love to say, this has been a wonderful conversation, Stephen, and I just think that when I see people awaken to their own life color and the authenticity that they are and beginning to accept who they are, they truly fall in love with themselves for the first time. And I see it over and over again. And so, in that way, they begin to radiate their vibrations out into the world, and they become more aligned with what they're supposed to do in the world, or make a better path in their life rather than constantly hitting themselves over the head or making mistakes. They have a little bit of a map to show them where they're supposed to go and align with themselves. So I just think anybody who joins my course, I'm just going to be so thrilled to have you in it.
Mhm. Well, wonderful, wonderful offering, deep insights. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Mm,
much, Titania. You're really a joy to be with. And thank you all for
thanks.
joining. And if you want to go further into Titanya's work, you can do so at lifecolorscourse.com, and a whole new world can open up.
Mm,
Thank you so much. Many blessings.
thanks.